This is the Realty Classroom Podcast, episode number 41.
Welcome to the show that focuses on helping real estate agents build a bulletproof business plan so that they can sell more properties in less time and live a more fulfilled life.
Are you a real estate agent with an entrepreneurial spirit who wants to turn your job into a business without sacrificing your lifestyle, but you just can't seem to find the right plan to help you get there? Well, then you're definitely in the right place. Hey, I'm Danny Griffin, the founder of the Realty Classroom and the host of this podcast. And to help you take immediate action to build a better real estate agent business, I've created a free jumpstart course that's good for veterans and rookies alike, and it's sitting over there waiting for you at freeagentgift.com. It's an on-demand course, bunch of videos there, couple downloads. It'll get you started in the right direction. freeagentgift.com. So I want to get started in this episode here today entitled On a Scale of 1 to 10. Yes, let's let the suspense build up on that one. What does he mean? Well, let me start in the direction of prospects. This has just been a white hot topic for my mastermind group, and we've been really digging in, and I've been pushing them. I'm telling you, on Thursday afternoons when we hold this session, I come out of there sweating a lot. It is not easy to work on your business and to really push your understanding of the way that things work and to just keep fighting to bubble up some simple strategies that are universally, I guess, immutable is the best way to put it. They just don't bend or break when you really lean on them when it comes to the reality of business. And that's been our pursuit at the Realty Classroom Mastermind level. So the first thing starts out is, oh, come on, guys and gals, what is a prospect? I just kept pushing. What is it? Let's determine what this is. Now, let me flash back about 6 years ago when I was building out a follow-up system for my own book of business. And I really started to think about following up for at least 36 months, right? All these internet buyers, they come in so early now. We need to build a follow-up system that can last at least 36 months. And a lot of people will fall by the wayside in there, but we'll be proud of that. And we were. But as time goes on, you want more efficiencies out of your business. So as you start to look at this definition of a prospect, you say, well, why does it have to take so long? And that really made me think a lot about my marketing. I went to look at my marketing, looking at what I was doing to get people to do business with me that I did not know. That's where I'll start with you. Obviously, referrals and repeat is a big part of what we do, and we market to those folks differently. But let's just, for the sake of this argument here, talk about what's the best methodology to get new buyers and sellers into your world where you can create them into prospects? But what is a prospect? And what is the act of prospecting? What is this all about? Well, I believe a contact is a contact is a contact. Let's take, for example, what I started with the buyer internet leads, which was a big challenge I was trying to deal with at that time because they were really proliferating and everybody was saying, oh my gosh, here's the wave. Consumers gone online. Let's get them in line. And so we did, and we gave them what they wanted first, which was instant access to properties for sale. But very quickly, everybody was doing that. And then some of the big technology companies who only did that, they were building apps and the consumer was all over the place. So you could get them in, but then there was a lot of whimsical inquiries in there where people just putting their information in just to get access. And they weren't really contacts that I would call good quality leads. And that's always that big argument. You know, I always say at the Glenn Ross moment where everybody's yelling about the leads. Yeah, well, why don't you just consider how you got those contacts to begin with? What did you say? Was it a bloody mess to begin with? Probably. So you really have to start with, before you can define a prospect, these contacts that we call leads, meaning we really don't know anything about their timing, motivation at all to buy or sell, let alone whether they'll even talk to us, which is the key point here. What is a prospect? So we bubbled that up in wanting better. These are all veterans who do hundreds of thousands of dollars of business a year, and getting that and squeezing it. And by the way, I say that only so that you know that these people are really working on this and they're very intense. And if you're brand new listening to this is the best advice we could give you today to start right. Don't do what we did to learn this. Start with understanding that a prospect is a contact who is going to buy or sell property in the next 12 months or so, right? That's what we came up with. So we thought that was good. So the next point here is that, okay, so there's got to be this critical moment when you have all these contacts that you call leads that you're going through and you're using your dialers and you're using your scripts, right? That's a huge topic of conversation. You can download everybody's opinion of what the right script is and you can have at it. Well, that's a big obsession in this business, as it should be, because as you're having a discussion with somebody that you might even have in your sphere of influence, you're texting back and forth, you're conversing at a kid's event, whatever it might be, this is really the act of prospecting. But there is a critical moment, right? It's sort of the crossing of the Rubicon from the lead. Contact is a lead. We don't know their timing and motivation to do something. And we're trying to get them into our prospect world, meaning they're somebody that is willing to do something, number one. And number two, they're willing to do something with us. Right? Pretty simple. I mean, that's how you fill up. And I've talked a lot on this podcast about funnels. That's how you fill up your funnel, or you start to create a book of business. And that's what brings consistency and predictability. You don't just go out and henpeck one little seedling here and bring it down the line only to have it blow up to say real estate's not for me, right? That's what happens all the time. Well, that's just simply because you don't understand that prospecting is a continuous act that we have to go through. So we're always hitting that critical moment. When we're talking to somebody, we can find out whether they can become a prospect of ours or not. So that comes into scripting. And I think for the first time, what we really figured out was, well, wait a minute. Let's just break this into components and let's come up with what's missing. So we had always done a pretty good job saying, look, think about it from a phone call standpoint. If you're prospecting on the phone and you pick up the phone, you have a very, very quick window, especially if you live where I do in the Northeast, where everybody is unforgiving. We're all a little bit angry and we're not sure why. So you have a very, very quick moment here. I'm this person from this company calling you because, let me say it again, that critical moment. You've got that really, I'm this person. Hey, I'm Danny Griffin from the Griffin Realty Group, and I'm calling you because, right? The because is a real trigger word. People, I think, will give you just a little bit of time to figure out, because what? Something in it for me? And that's what people want, right? I'm happy to be interrupted if somebody's interrupting me about something that's important to me. Why wouldn't somebody on the other end of the phone? So that's where we get into all the technical components of what's their disposition to begin with. Are they expired? Are they a probate situation? Are they from the internet? And as long as you can start the because, but this podcast today is not about that. It's about the next point. There's got to be an ultimate question that we can use that no matter where the next beat goes. So after the proper intro and a little trigger because, give them a little context, right? And what's in it for them. But very quickly, we all know what the reality of the next moment is. It goes off into the poppy fields with Dorothy, right? People start talking, or worse, they say nothing. Yeah, what is it you want? They give you the gruff response. So I think it's all about cutting to the chase, meaning let's just put a pointed, direct question to people so we know, is there an opportunity? So what we came up with the simple scale. And by the way, I'll give full credit to my coach and mentor, Craig Proctor. I spent a lot of time learning from him, but there was a couple poignant moments where he was able to chunk up for me moments like this. And this was one of them. And I said, how do you know somebody's motivated? Just ask them on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated they are. I'm like, yep, that's the one. So all of a sudden that hit us the other day in this mastermind. Why don't we just do that? So if we could just cut to the chase with somebody, I'm not going to tell you exactly where I think it goes. It goes somewhere after that intro, because that's really where it gets a little bit more freeform. But if you get off that phone, or you leave that conversation that's face to face, or you stop that instant messenger conversation and you do not ask a critical question like this, then you don't know whether this person's a prospect or not, right? So sorry, again, the allergies today as I choke on, get all excited here, right? So the point is, look, just ask them on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely is it that you will sell inside the next 12 months? That's it. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely is it that you will buy in the next 12 months? And if you're recruiting, we had two little splits there because we had the rookies that you might be recruiting, or it might be a veteran. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to get licensed and join a company inside the next 12 months? Or to the veteran, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to change companies inside the next 12 months? See, it gives you a time frame, and it really puts somebody right on the spot and they have to answer this motivation question. Okay. Now, if you've ever heard of the Net Promoter Score, I think the guy's name is Reicheld that wrote the book. It's a good book. And essentially, you've probably seen it and you've probably been questioned this way too. People are just trying to see with the Net Promoter Score. Are you really a net promoter? Are you neutral? Are you really no good, right? It's a problem. You can do this with your past clients too, as you birth them into your past client community after closing. But the point is, if you ask them, and they say something like 9 to 10, that's a good answer. Okay. I love a 10, but I get the 9s. The 9s still have some questions. I'll even probably, for the sake of this podcast and the mastermind, slide it back to 8. An 8 to 10 is somebody that has some relative seriousness of purpose, okay, to do something and are worthy of your time, but they also have to be accepting of your follow-up. And I think that's also a key point, because I don't want you to think that I'm telling you to get on top of the mountain and nobody's good enough for me unless they meet these criteria. That wasn't the point at all. The point was this is a two-way relationship that's called prospect, right? Prospect requires 2 to tango here. Okay. You have to be ready to get involved in a relationship. And this question is really just helping you figure out, do I have a chance of being in a relationship with you to help you figure out how to best sell your property, how to best buy one, or make a move to the next brokerage, which might be mine, right? That's it. That's all I'm trying to determine. And it's just that critical moment when you're doing that to remember to ask that question, so that no matter where you end up in the conversation, you hang up, you leave the party, you go home, and you know what's next. Now, I'm not going to indulge in the last point too far, because maybe I'll just do a follow-up podcast on the effects of what happens next, because it's a pretty big deal. I spent 6 years really building out what we do next, but I can chunk it up again and just make it easy for you. The next things that happen after that are critical. And even in training my own team at Griffin Realty Group, I found that, wow, we're doing such a great job when we have that ultimate prospecting question. We turn somebody to a prospect, especially in open houses, and we upsell them to getting the information. Upsell is just the terminology. I mean that, hey, we have more for you and it's free. So it's not really a sale, but it's an upgrade. Let's use upgrade instead. Okay. That's a better word. We upgrade them to say, look, we can put you directly into the MLS system. That is the source of all of this that goes out to the internet. Why wouldn't you just get it from us here? We can be more specific, and more importantly, we can be looking at what you like and refining the criteria right from the source. All you realtors ought to just give yourself a little knock on your helmet and say, how come you're not leveraging that one line with people? Because we are the source. Without us getting the listings and the inventory, there would be no tech companies with their apps. Okay. So just bring people back into the source. Doesn't mean that we're trying to knock all these big companies that have the apps out there. They're good. They're helpful. Sure. Wonderful. Okay. But I'm looking for a relationship. I'm not looking for you to just stare at an app and a phone. I'm looking for a prospect relationship where I can follow up. So let me upgrade you to the information that you'll get directly from us. Now that's what they want. I mean, we just find just a tremendous amount of people who are going to do something relatively soon, and they are real true prospects. Love that. They're like, yeah, that's great. And by the way, wink, wink. Don't forget to give the buyers sold information too. I know it's a natural for the sellers, but the buyers need to know what the money's buying. So upgrade them to get updates of what sells, and they could see what their money would have bought, and would they have bought that? And the sellers, obviously, that's the first step in my 7-point plan, is that we're going to come in and talk to you about how the solds are really truly affecting you, not some light CMA, but really dive in. So that's what they want. Now, what they need, we start to send them some information. You all might refer to it as a pre-listing presentation. I actually just believe it's our seller course, our buyer course, and our agent course that we begin to give them, because now that we're in a relationship, we want to show them what they don't know. I know what you want. Let me upgrade you to this information. But you also need a little dose of this. You need some strategy. You can't just go do this massive financial transaction without a strategic approach. Let me give you our simple 7 steps sellers, 6 steps buyers, 7 steps plus a bonus to the agents. By the way, that's the course I give away here at freeagentgift.com. Same one that we would use in our brokerage. It's a wireframe. So we start to give you a dose of what you need. I know you say, oh, I don't need it. And you kick and scream at me. Okay, great. I don't know. I need it. Okay. I've been a top producer a long time. I can't stop working on my business. I'm afraid it would go sideways if I did. So that's what we give them in the next point there. But the last point that I'll leave you with today is that now you have to follow up. You can't just give this email information for properties that they want and the information that they need and leave them there. Like the prospect relationships aren't just going to improve because you're dripping on them. Remember what I say about dripping. That's what a dog does to a hydrant. Okay. You want to be treated like that? I don't think so. So lean in with these people. Start to call them on the basis. Now this is a key point. You get 12 months here. We've just defined that, right? So how far out? Are they really 12 months out? Or are they really 3 months out or 6? You can really determine, is it appropriate to put a touch on them personally? And I mean, call them. Maybe go visit them, whatever's appropriate. Go do these things on a frequency around the information you're sending. Say, hey, I saw a couple new things sold in the neighborhood. I want to call you, make sure you saw those. I thought they were pretty important when it comes to what you're doing. See, this guy did upgrade this, that I had suggested that maybe earlier. I just want to show you he did well. See what I'm saying? I'm getting very individualized in that prospect relationship. So I'm going deeper with the prospect. So that frequency, it's like Goldilocks. The bed has to be just right. You have to follow up with the frequency that's relevant to their timing inside the 12 months. So those last 3 layers, let me just repeat them. Upgrade them. Use your darn MLS access, will you please? And give them instant access to the source. I don't care how quick the other sites are putting it up there. This is the source. Tell them that. And it comes with you leaning in personally. Give them what they need, their strategies. And lastly, follow up at a frequency that makes sense. Don't be creepy and don't fall asleep on them. All right. All right. Let's go back through these points here. So we covered on a scale of 1 to 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, on a scale of 1 to 10. Let me get that in your head through all the noise. Okay. What is a prospect? You know what that is. Somebody serious about doing something inside of 12 months. I'm not saying that you couldn't have prospect plus, but I'd leave them in the lead pile if they're longer than that. There's that critical moment where after you've made that introduction and you're deep into it, you have to ask the next point, the ultimate question on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you to do something in the next 12 months? And then remember after that to take your 3 action steps. So to summarize the key point, always push to determine truly whether or not a contact should be considered a prospect worthy of follow-up. By simply asking the right question. That's it. You can have a nice, clean database if you just simply do that. And then you won't be running around saying, oh, they cheated on me. No, they didn't. They just went somewhere else because you didn't pay attention or they weren't ready, right? Whatever the case would be. All right. Remember, you can take immediate action to help you get started in the right direction with your business with our free video course over at freeagentgift.com. I've upgraded that. It's on a teachable platform, instant access. We'll also send it out to you via email if you like to watch it that way. Go there, learn, give me some feedback. Let me know what else you want from me. I am more than happy to give you free training if I know what that course sparks. So go take it for me, please, for yourself. If you like what you learned here, then of course would appreciate it if you would share these insights with other entrepreneurial real estate agents just like you so that they can find their way over here. I know it's a big noisy world out there and I'd love to grow this community. So I'd love the 10 fingers. Send them my way. And don't forget to subscribe or follow us on whichever platform you're listening. And of course, a positive review is always appreciated. And if it's negative, send me a personal email. We'll have a chat. We also broadcast our live sales training on Facebook every Friday at 1 o'clock Eastern time. So remember to like our page so you won't miss the notifications. Hey, thanks for listening. I'm humbled by the opportunity to serve you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.
You've been listening to The Realty Classroom with Danny Griffin. Join us next time to continue learning how to build a smarter real estate agent business plan that helps you live a more fulfilled life.